I'm here in Tokyo with the lovely BIRKENSTOCK, who have brought me out to link up with my homie, Orion. We're here because we run Flock Together, which is a birdwatching collective for people of colour.
When I caught wind of Flock Together, an amazing movement they were doing in London and what they were going to bring to Tokyo, I decided to just take the plunge in. And ever since then, fast forward 4 years, here we are meeting for the first time. As soon as we locked eyes on that bridge, things just came together.
It's magic.
Pause for anyone back home listening.
Yes.
Growing up in Harlem, New York as well, a place that people are known to get fly and jiggy. And I want to feel like the thing that's on your feet, what you're walking, what you're moving with, and the fact that it's almost meant to get dirty, and yet you keep a certain stature to keep it clean. If they have cooked kicks, you're definitely the first one to get laughed on in the playground.
For me, creativity and street culture are linked because I guess to be a good creative, you have to be curious. I worked in a skate shop as a kid, and by working in those environments, it really exposed us to visual arts. And through that, you then went on to see films, music, art.
That's one of those hotspot breeding points where it's so raw and almost anarchistic, and it's like almost like ground zero for street culture in the sense, skate culture, right? And I to say a step further, I think street culture typically stems from obviously not high fashion. Maybe you don't have as much money or funds, but you find a way to make it work. And I think that creativity plays into how you stand out in that space. How does being in motion help you express yourself after a lull when you weren't able to move much? I think for me, COVID obviously limited us in so many ways, but the world stopped and it forced me to look into a mirror and really figure out what I wanted to do with myself and my life and all these different things. There was so much introspection that was necessary, and I think from there I almost felt like cut out certain lifestyles, cut out certain things and really prioritize.
For me, being in the lockdown was the first time for most of us to really understand what it feels like to have motion, freedom of movement taken away from you completely. And so post that experience, I think we now started seeing these spaces and movement in a different light. There's a story about you can never go back to a green space and it'll be exactly the same. It's always different, constantly.
So every moment that you have it, you're like, wow, I'm really blessed to live another day and really experience this firsthand, because the next person that comes in 30 minutes is definitely experiencing something different. So
even if I take the same walk every day for a year, each time I go on that walk, I try and look for something new. Really helped me being grounded. These are words that a lot of people don't really understand, and it took me a long time to understand what being present meant.
I think community is a new thing that everyone's come together and reappreciated, whether it's through social media, if you have that distance across the world, which me and Ollie, I felt like I've known this brother for like 4 or 5 years as my brother. When we first met, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like I had seen him after like a year apart.
I'm really inspired by Orion's doing here and look forward to collaborating. Community and collaboration are two things that go hand in hand. Collaborating with Orion, we've already been talking in the 2 days we've had together about what about this idea, what about that idea. They're endless ideas we have.
Tokyo for me, funny enough, and I think it's very much due to my perspective and my lens, but I would say, ironically enough, Tokyo being the most populated city in the world, I think Zen comes to mind.
Maybe intentional and considered are the same words for me. Everything's considered.
Yeah.
Thank you, BIRKENSTOCK.
Thank you, BIRKENSTOCK. Shouts out.